Follow him, boys.
Follow him.
You can't come in. Might want to let these ones go.
Keep going.
Wait, I'll come back. I'll watch it.
Let's just quickly show you something.
See that? It's been there for as long as I can remember. Nobody's got a problem with it, rightfully so. In the town square, looked after by the council. But this? Nah. Slow down. I can already see the comments. But we're British, we should be able to fly our flag wherever we want. No, you shouldn't. And do you know why? What happens when flags aren't properly maintained and cared for? They turn to absolute shit. They get tattered and torn and end up falling down. So with these thousands of flags that have been cabled by the lamppost and painted on roundabouts, give it a few months, they're going to look like absolute shit. Is that patriotic? Having a load of our beloved flags tattered and hanging off lampposts? There isn't a conspiracy theory against British people. Put a flag up outside your house, take care of it. That's patriotism. Not this load of nonsense. Don't let hate win.
If you criticise people for waving an England flag or a Union Jack, you've fallen into their bait. They're saying, what's wrong with what I'm doing? Are you anti-England? Are you anti-Britain? And of course, what many people are reacting to is the long-held association between the use of those flags and bigotry. It's scary when people are putting up England flags all over the place, because we know that England flags tend to be wielded in two situations. One, when the sports team is playing. Two, when people want to make a point about white supremacy. I live near Westminster Crown Court, and every time I walk past it, there's some big trial going on and there's protesters outside. I guarantee you every single time that there's England flags, it's because there's a racist person like Tommy Robinson going to trial. The flag has been co-opted, but the way out of this is not to try and crack down on people waving England flags. It's not to tear them off the poles. Think about that other time that England flags are used, when we're playing football matches. It's a different context. There's nothing wrong with the flag. We need to take back that symbol from the people who want to use it around some kind of ethno-nationalist agenda, some kind of anti-Islam agenda. We should all be waving England flags. We should all be waving Union Jacks. Symbols, words can change their meaning if we decide that we want to use them for something else. I say patriotic, non-racist, anti-fascist Brits should take back flag as a symbol of what we stand for.
Alright guys, today we are flying all the way to the United Kingdom. Now, what is happening in the United Kingdom? Raise the colors. Guys, something so popular is happening there. People are raising flags, painting the St. George's flag in every white wall, in every white painting they come across. They are painting these flags in the zebra crossing. They are painting them in bridges, drains, pavements, watercourses, walking paths. Even others are painting this in roundabouts. They are hanging the flags in poles, in signboards. If others are even hanging them in trees, the street lights. They are hanging and raising the St. George flags, which is the England flag, everywhere in the United Kingdom. But now here's the plot twist. Critics are saying that this is just another public participation of racism. People are just practicing racism publicly because they are saying they don't want Palestinians in their country, they don't want blacks in their country, they don't want immigrants in their country, and they are also calling for mass deportation for immigrants in their country. But now here's the plot twist. The British people are saying no. Raising a flag is a symbol of patriotism. Raising the British flag is a symbol of national unity. We are doing this because we are patriotic citizens and we are calling all the UK to unite as one. That is why we are hanging these flags everywhere we come across. We are painting this flag in every white spot we see. We are doing this for our country. It is not all about racism. It is not all about anti-Palestinians or whatever you may want to think of. Yeah, they are saying this is a symbol of national unity, and we raised this flag since time immemorial, since we defeated the Nazi during World War. But again, critics are saying no, it is just a symbol of public participation of racism. You don't want just migrants to be in your country. Why all of a sudden you just wake up and start raising the flag? Why haven't you been doing all along? And the British people are saying, no, we've been raising these flags in World Cups, in football matches, in certain competition, in festivals. It is not all about racism. But no, I'm not British. I don't live in the UK. So let's the people of the UK tell us what is really happening, and here are some of their reactions.
Have you seen these English flags plastered all over your cities within the UK, within your towns, within your neighbourhoods, hell, even on your roundabouts? Now, at first glance, this might seem like a preposterous waste of time that only the uneducated would have the time to do. And if you thought that, you would be correct. As the aftermath of a summer of intense anti-immigration protests, waving the English flag or displaying the St. George's Cross has become a symbol of resistance for certain groups. These groups of which have been regarded as far right. Not my words, just the words of reputable news outlets. In fact, The Guardian actually report that anti-racism organisations like Hope Not Hate, they actually describe this entire English flag waving campaign to simply be people repackaging patriotism as something a lot more sinister and bad faith. Not to mention, according to The Independent, many English flags also appeared around civic spaces. For example, roundabouts and streets, specifically in Tower Hamlets and Birmingham. And guess what? Of course, they didn't have the council's approval, so they got torn down. And when these flags got torn down by local authorities, this was not because of any sort of anti-English bias. This was simply because of infrastructure safety and rules, something that maybe you guys don't know that much about. And this is without me even mentioning the amount of concerned residents who have voiced their concerns about how unsafe this is making them feel. Not even necessarily the flag itself, but the behaviour that is often followed by it. That being xenophobic rhetoric, outlandish remarks, or just hateful behaviour altogether. Yeah, you guys are really showing the arse of Great Britain, aren't you? Now, personally, I know I speak for many people of colour within this country, seeing the flag is not going to burden me in any sort of way. I'm not going to disintegrate like the Wicked Witch of the West. But for some reason, you guys think that you're doing something or offending someone by showing off this flag in our faces, as if that's not exactly what you accuse us of in Pride Month by forcing our beliefs down your throat, but that's neither here or there. It is not going to change my mood by even a decimal. And if anything, it's a direct projection of how you see us when we wave our flags, whether that be in Carnival or any sort of Independence Day. Most of the people that are waving these flags and having this imaginary beef with these imaginary immigrants most likely feel threatened when we raise our own national flags from home. Even if it is literally just a flag. But what do you think? Do you honestly think this is an act of patriotism, or are these English wavers just being performative?
Operation Raise the Colors. Sounds patriotic and cute, right? But what is it really? So here's some tea. Guess who's hyping far-right groups like Tommy Robinson? His crew. Suddenly the cute patriotism hits a little bit different. Cut down to removal of the flags. Council say that it's to do with safety. Anti-racism groups think that flags can be a little bit intimidating. And locals have mixed feelings. Feel like the flags being put out is more about British versus other people. It's a you versus me thing. Superiority. And also, it can lead to a lot of racism. But let's be honest, the British flag isn't bad. But it's how it's used that can trigger a problem. But when far-right groups use it, it's suddenly not about unity and patriotism anymore. Here's the thing, love for this country should unite us, not divide. But it should be love for all kind of people living here, not just some of them. Or just because of colour. So what do you think it is? Is it national pride or a political stunt? Let me know in the comments.
The England flag has been co-opted by racists and turned into something it's not. And I'm seeing a lot of people on the left getting frustrated at the visibility of these flags and being tempted to put up Palestinian flags as an act of counter-protest. But I actually think that that is one of the worst things that we can do in this situation. The Palestinian flag should be used to raise awareness for the cause, not as a weapon to piss off the racists. Instead, I think we should be reclaiming the flag. We should be using it at Palestinian marches to show solidarity of the British people with Palestinians. After all, the England flag is the St. George's Cross, the same St. George that was born in Turkey with Greek heritage, who is also the patron saint of Palestine. So we shouldn't be offended by it. We, by all means, should raise the colours. Maybe we can rebrand it to raise all the colours. We should be using that flag to show that Great Britain is great because of immigration, not in spite of it. We wouldn't have chicken tikka masala without South Asian immigrants. We wouldn't have fish and chips without Jewish immigrants from Portugal and Spain. Jerk chicken, kebabs, chow mein, all thanks to immigration. African and Afro-Caribbean immigrants gave us grime, garage, drum and bass. The 2018 Men's World Cup team, half of the players were children of immigrants. So don't waste your time tearing down the flags. Instead, put up your own modified. You could stitch the Union Jack on the back of Palestinian flag and fly that. You could write "Migrants Welcome" on the Union Jack. You could use it at marches with a sign saying "Britain against fascism," "Britain against racism," "Patriots for Palestine." If you're a migrant, you can use it too, regardless of how long you've been here or how you got here. If England is your home, it is your flag. By all means, use the flag and don't be offended by it, because if you are, that means that the racists have well and truly co-opted it, dominated it, and they have won.
Who's behind Operation Raise the Colours? You see, many people take great pride in the British flag, whether it's defeating the Nazis during World War II, or it's a great performance at the Euros. But other people use it as a way to say that perhaps Britain should be less brown, less black, less Muslim, less refugee, less asylum seeker, less diverse. And when we say that, we mean, look at some of the people who are behind the operation. People like Britain First, Paul Golding, a man with multiple convictions who has described the need to remigrate people who perhaps look like me to make Britain more white, a form of gentle ethnic cleansing. He says that he's donated many of his group Britain First flags to places in the Northwest. But you'd also have to talk about the likes of Mr. Gurmit Singh, an associate of Tommy Robinson, real name Stephen Yaxley Leonard, who did a spell in prison after he violently robbed a shopkeeper. But that's not all. It's not just people like him who run groups like this in Nottingham. You'd also have to talk about what Hope Not Hate describes as another one of Mr. Stephen Yaxley Leonard's associates, Mr. Currian. Mr. Currian himself did a spell in prison after he was involved in the racist death of a 59-year-old man, where the man was brutally crushed to death in 2009. Whilst many of these people say they're just doing it because they want to be patriotic, they also have another message, which is that a lot of people who have made their homes, their lives, their places in Britain, who have fought for this country or served in its NHS or who've made it a better place to be, are not welcome. We're not saying that there's not problems in Britain, that there's not cultural problems as it happens when one person moves to a different place. But none of that has stopped Britain from being one of the most successful countries in the world, and none of it has stopped people from resisting the urge to see each other as less than human. Because dehumanization in many ways is where this all starts, to say that it's not just a flag that means that we can all come together despite a country's history, despite colonization or anything like this, but to build something better. Instead, it's a project that looks back to the past, but also to some of what many people consider the worst aspects of that past: subjugation, attacking, denigrating, dehumanizing. But can we not build a Britain that's better than that? Let us know your thoughts down below and follow Nova for more.
Operation Raise the Flag. Watch this video.
Very interesting. I was on the motorway yesterday, going back and forth on Margate, and especially on the A2. I could see all these different flags. You can see there, Union Jack, and along the way you can see also some St. George's flag. Did a little research, and what I found out is that there's an increase in these in August after online groups linked to right-wing activism launch Operation Raise the Colors, encouraging mass flag displays. Supporters claim the action celebrates national pride and heritage, but critics note it's linked to far-right figures. It's a very interesting thing, I must say, about flags, because flags should sense a sense of national pride as well. But it's very interesting. I don't know what you take about this. Residents have reported flags appearing on public infrastructure, lampposts.
Hey, what are your views on this? A country having issues with displaying their own flag.
Or is it something else?
The video speaks for itself. I'd like to hear your views. Please comment below. Thank you.
Are British flags racist? Well, this fella, he thinks they are. He says it's only racist people who use them. Union Jack, yeah, the flag of St. George, bunch of racist people have taken over. Time to get rid of them. Now, all around the country, people are doing something called Operation Raise the Flag, where they're getting different people. If you see something white, colour it in the flag of England, yeah? raise the flag whenever you can. Now, the local councils have caught on to this, so they have an operation to remove all of the operation raising the colours people, yeah? And they've noticed that other nations, you know which nation I'm talking about, they're allowed to fly their flags. But specifically British people, nah, gotta keep it under wraps now. The question is, do we design a new flag? I've got a couple of designs that I think you'd like, yeah? Let me know. Or should British people be allowed to raise their own flags in Britain? What do you think we should do? Kemi Badenoch, she said, raise the flag, mate. Union Jacks, St. George's flag, raise them up, mate. What are you talking about? What do you guys reckon? Is it only racist people that use the Union Jack? Or is it for all British people everywhere?
Okay, for the longest time in my own perspective, I believe raising a flag is a symbol of national unity. You are allowed to own a flag of a country if you are patriotic enough. You can even wear it. You can even tailor some clothes with the national flag and walk everywhere. It is not all about racism. But in their view, there must be something that has driven the people of the UK to do this. And that what has driven them is something that they don't want to make it clear. Because they didn't do it last year. They didn't do it in January. They've started doing it this August. Which means there is something that have really triggered the people of the United Kingdom to raise these flags, to draw them everywhere, and to hang them everywhere. That thing, they're playing hard to get. They don't want to tell us that these are the reasons why we are doing this. These are the reasons. You see some of them, they are just going, they don't want to give a direct point or direct explanation of why they are raising this flag. They are just telling us it is a symbol of national unity. It is a symbol of uniting England. It is a symbol of patriotism. We are just playing patriot for our country. But again, every person that loves his or her own country, is a patriot. But we don't do this in this country. We haven't seen this in Australia, in United States. Okay, maybe in United States we have seen this, but not as much as it is happening like the operation Raise the Colors in the UK. So in simple terms, there must be something that is driving the people of the UK to do this. And this is what the people are demanding to hear. Because if they don't want to tell us that what driven them to do this, it means that the critics will win. It means that these critics will sympathize. They will push the fact that you guys are racist. You guys, you don't want Palestinians in your country. You don't want immigrants in your country. You don't want to see any other person who is not white in your country. The critics will win unless or until these British people come out clear and tell us why. Because I haven't seen anyone giving a good explanation. But I believe if you are watching this video and you really know what is really happening and what triggered this country, the UK, to do all the flag, raise the colors thing, you can tell us also in the comment section so that we can know what triggered them. What are they after? What do they want to achieve after raising this flag? What is the message they are passing to the entire world that we are raising our flag and drawing it everywhere because of this and this and this? And you, my viewers, tell me what to think in the comment section. Do you think it is patriotism, the love for our country, uniting, or is it racism? Are they practicing patriotism or racism? Tell me what you think in the comment section. Let's have a discussion, and I hope to see you in my next video. Subscribe to this channel, guys, and adios.